Hey guys, what's up? Sam White here, live in Melbourne, Australia. I want to talk today about one of my favourite books of all time by Grant Cardone, the man himself. Be Obsessed or Be Average. So, comment below if you've read this book. Comment below what your top takeaways were. Comment below if you agree with me. Comment if you disagree with me. I just want to share some of the main pointers, I guess, from this book, what you can take away, what I took away, and how it can help you in your personal life and how it's helped me do the things that I've done. So, super pumped to get into tonight's book. Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone. So let us know whereabouts in the world you're tuning in from, if you are watching this later or if you're watching this live. So if you feel others can get value from this, tell them to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. Alright, so I want to go through some things from the book. So he talks about feed the beast, starve the doubt. So what he's talking about is we're all human. We all have that inner beast within us, if you're a human being, of course. He talks about that inner beast as in what you seriously want in life. Like what you seriously want. You may not talk about it with others, but what you seriously want, he says just feed that, like give it everything. Be absolutely obsessed with all that. When the doubt comes, and it will come, and it'll come big, the bigger you get, the bigger it'll come, the more it'll come. He says starve the doubt. So feed the beast, feed what you're going all in with, and then starve the doubt. So there's some of the things I've done. I feed my absolute obsession to help people lose weight, get in shape, and make most out of their life by making extra income as well. So I have to feed what I'm doing, be obsessed with it, go all in with it. And what I have to do then is then starve the doubt. So seriously, anyone that doesn't believe in what I believe in, doesn't want to go down the path I want to go down, doesn't want to live a seriously awesome life, I need to starve them, get rid of them. Some of you may need to remove your friends, remove the people around you that are putting you down. So feed the beast, starve the doubt. Another one he talks about is sales is everything. Now, I know to some people that word makes them sick. They don't want to talk about that word. They've had a bad experience with it, whatever it be. But he talks about sales is everything. So you might have to sell your partner on being with you and doing the things that you want to do. You might have to sell your team on being part of your team, doing the things that you want to do. You might have to sell yourself on some of the things that you want to do, some of the things that you desperately want as well. So sales is everything. If you can perfect one thing in life, sales, it'll help you with absolutely everything you do. So he really emphasizes the point on sales is everything. Another point he talks about is the work-life balance myth. And everyone talks about now, it's very common in this day and age that everyone wants balance in their life. And anyone that does say, I just want balance, it just means that they don't have it. Everyone seems to talk about it. I used to think that I needed to find balance. But the problem with seeking balance is not only does it not exist, when one thing doesn't go your way, then it stops you from being the person that you want to be, doing the things that you want to do. So, everyone's trying to get that work-life balance, trying to get more balance in their life. It just means they're not obsessed with anything. They're not really going anywhere. So, if you can tell me one person that's actually worked out this whole balance myth, let me know, because I certainly haven't seen anyone that's worked out the whole balance thing. Another thing he talks about is go all in, be obsessed with one thing and one thing only. So work out what you really need to craft within where you're going, and then go all in with that one thing and one thing at a time. Too many people try to be the best at their sport, try to be the best at sales, try to be the best with their partner, try to be the best with their kids, try to be the best with their finances, try to be the best at having enough travel, trying to be the best at this, trying to be the best at this, and they end up being okay at everything. So, for example, one thing he really emphasizes in the book, Be Obsessed or Be Average, is you need to go all in with one thing and one thing only at a time. So I'll give you an example. So when I was building my personal training business, that was my obsession. I went completely all in with it, 7 days a week. And once I built that up, then I could focus on something else. But if I didn't have that focus, if I didn't go all in with that personal training business, that would always control me. So focus on that one thing and one thing at a time. Don't focus on every little thing. Okay, one thing at a time. If you take anything away from that book, I recommend taking that away. So you need haters, and haters are great. And please comment below if you've had haters in your life and they've made you better at what you're doing. So if you don't have enough haters, it just means that you're not big enough, basically. So everyone has haters. They're absolutely fantastic. He talks about sometimes the worst thing is when hate comes from your family. So if you're I'll give you an example. So while I was building my online business, when I first wanted to build my online business, my dad, who's come from a traditional background, for example, said, you can just keep doing what you're doing. You don't need to do something online. No one makes money online. It's all a scam. It doesn't exist. And that just means that he's never done it. So yeah, it's okay to have haters. They are great. They will actually help you build to where you want to build. Okay, haters are great. They're always going to be there. You cannot get rid of every hater. They're always going to be there, but you need 100% focus on what you're doing. So control over leadership. Everyone thinks that they want leadership in this lifetime. So when something goes wrong, and it will go wrong, you don't want leadership, you want control. Okay, you need to be in control of everything and everything that's going on. Control's a great thing. There is nothing wrong with wanting control with what's going on, so that when something goes wrong, and it will, you actually have control over the situation. Because when things go wrong, everyone's looking around to find out who can control this situation, who is in control, okay? And that person will be the leader. So take that away. Being the best handles everything. One thing he talks about, if you're LeBron James, if you're Michael Jordan, for example, and they're obsessed with being the best at their craft, they've focused, they've gone all in at being the best at their craft, then controls everything. Do you think Michael Jordan and LeBron James, because they've become the best at basketball, have any issues making money? Have any issues getting their partner? Have any issues living the life that they want to live? Okay, so be the best at one thing and one thing only, and people will come from everywhere to be part of that. So yeah, just focus on being the best at one thing. That's what I recommend. Okay, so if you are the best at one thing, that will handle everything else. Haters are talking to themselves. What he means by this is when someone tells you that you shouldn't do something, you can't do something, they've actually quit on themselves and they're trying to justify with you that you should quit as well. Okay, so we're always trying to justify why we can't do something or why we can't do something. The people that always say that they can't do something, they can't afford it, they can't be this, they can't do that, they don't have enough time. What they're actually saying is they've quit on that idea, they've quit on doing that, and they're trying to justify with you why you should also do that as well. Okay? Haters aren't talking to you, they're talking to themselves. He also talks about in his book, move location regularly. It puts you out of your comfort zone. It's personally what I've done. Sometimes you have to get away from mum and dad. Sometimes you have to get away from your three closest friends that aren't going where you want to go. He talks about how he moved location regularly, and he said he was able to build up his friendship, build up his network quicker by doing that. So maybe you need to move around. Maybe you need to move out of mum and dad's place and actually start building up a different network than the three closest friends that you have right now. So, yeah, definitely move location and move location regularly, and that'll put yourself out of your comfort zone and force you to connect with different people. Okay. He talks about how he was a drug user, regular drug user, and he went into a traditional rehab, which he now describes, because he was able to rehab himself, as he refers to in the book, as he calls traditional rehab terrible. And he also says email him if you've gone down that path as well, as he wants to help those kinds of people. But he said his obsession at the time was with drugs. Now his obsession is with something else. So if you've been obsessed with one thing and it's a bad thing, there's no reason why you can't also be obsessed with something else. If you've been obsessed with one thing once, you can also be obsessed with something that's actually good for you. So he talks about how in rehab, all they want to do is talk about how miserable your life is, how bad everything is. Everyone around you is also an addict, so that's not really going to help you be around people that aren't an addict. He talks about they always just want to drug you. Basically, if you are drugged, you are controlled. If you are not drugged, you have control. Okay, so yeah, he talks about that in his book, how he went from being completely controlled by the rehab center to getting out of that rehab center and controlling everything. So he talks about that very heavily in his book, and talks about how traditional rehab is bad, and there's much better ways of doing it based on his opinion. So I personally never used drugs. I've never been in that situation, but that's what Grant Cardone shares in that book. Last topic I want to get into is people have had great ideas and they've had great philosophies of doing things. They've thought about doing massive things in their life. They've always wanted to do something. But if they haven't taken action, we don't know their name. Okay, so only someone who actually takes action on their goals, what they want to achieve, the great ideas that they have, we actually know their name. Only people that have become obsessed at something, Muhammad Ali, obsessed at boxing, Michael Jordan, obsessed with basketball, are the people that we actually know who their name is. I'm sure there's lots of people that were obsessed at becoming the best basketballer, the best person in fitness, the best person in business, best person in real estate, best person to write a book. But because they've given up, we just don't know who they are. So, yeah, people have great ideas, but if they haven't taken action on it, we don't know their name. People who have taken action on it, we do know their name. Grant Cardone being one. So, I want to finish off with the last thing I'll say about the book, Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone. A fantastic personal development, business, mindset book that I highly recommend. And I want to compare it to some of the others that I've read. And out of 10, I would give it, compared to the others that I've read, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Compared to some of the other great books I've read. Comment below, let me know what you would give it out of 10 if you compared it to the other books that you've read as well. So on that note, catch you guys.